Hi everyone, this is Stephanie and today I'm here with you to engage you in a conversation. So join me in the chat room as we engage ourselves in conversation. Today I'm talking to you about something, but I would want to ask you this question. Do you know there is a grace for endurance? So if you are seeking the grace for God to do every other thing, make sure you also seek the grace to endure. The grace to endurance, something which is difficult for us to do, difficult for man to do, so hard for us to do, to endure. Now many are falling apart, many are failing, many are slipping from the faith because they are unable to endure. And endurance is also one of the fruit that God would want us to have here. What are you to endure from? You are to endure from pain, you are to endure hurt, you are to endure the difficulties of life, and also not to worry much. Not to worry much. There are so many things going on around you, but can you seek for the grace to endure and stand still before your God and believe that He is God and He is with you, and no matter what, you are coming out from that situation as a winner and as a conqueror. That is who you are, and that is the claim of victory you have to claim for yourself here. The grace of endurance. Now, let me share this experience or story with you. My dad, growing up, I saw my dad who was sick. Yes, I think that was a tender age. I was at that tender age when my dad was sick here. Many people were talking against this man. There were a lot of comments going on here that he has sinned against his God, because this is a man who even took the town, and everywhere you see him, he will be preaching the gospel. So people were calling him pastor, others were calling him evangelist, and other names we will give to people who normally carry Christ on their shoulders or something. This was the name that they were giving to him. So when he got sick, it wasn't 1 day journey, it wasn't 2 days journey, it was years upon years. He lost his money, he lost so many things because he was fighting for his life. And we had many people talking against him. Many people complaining. People called him names. He has sinned against God. Some were also saying that maybe he has done something wrong. Some also saying that he couldn't stand in the faith, so he has gone to other person and human being for hope. People were giving out prophecies and others. And you realize that someone in pain who needs people to comfort. We have people in pain, people going through difficult times, people who are victims of so many things that need to heal. They are wounded and they need healing. The time that they need the healing, that is the time that most at times they receive difficult comments coming to their ways. But this man was not worried about any of these words. Sometimes we ourselves will even be angry. We will feel his pain, but he's like, don't worry. And he doesn't care about the words, because he knew the relationship he had with God, that none of what they were saying was true. He endured those times. He endured those times. He stood still for his God and believed in him. Today the testimony is that he has been healed, and the sickness or the illness got to a time, dear one, why at that time hospital medications couldn't solve the issue, couldn't heal him, but it was even worsening the situation. It was worsening the situation. So I remember as a child growing up, seeing my dad together with my mom. They would be in their room, and my mom would come crying to call us. We would quickly rush to the room as kids. We weren't even knowing a lot of things, but mommy will tell us to lay our hands on our father, and together she also will lay her hand on her, and we will both pray to the Lord, and realize that something which is lifeless has begun to come back to life. This was the state and the extent he got to, yet he endured all those times till God's deliverance came to his end, and he's alive today as I speak to you, a blessing to his generation. Now, endure. There is a grace for one, and this is the most graced. If we don't have endurance, our integrity can even be deteriorated. If we don't have endurance, we will spoil ourselves, our image, our name. If you don't have endurance, the level at which you need to get, you cannot attain that high, because mostly you will react towards what you feel, and you quickly react towards the actions and the behavior of people around you. But if you seek for this grace from God, you will be able to stand all these times, no matter what is going on around you. You believe in your God, and you have the faith that he is with you. Come what may, you come out of the situation as victor, so you wouldn't be bothered by it. Yes, your boss will do something which will hurt you, your staff, your family, your siblings, your followers, they will put a punch to you. But if you have this endurance, you will receive it gladly with a cheerful heart, and you will exchange it with smile and laugh, because you have it in you. So the other time, Job, in time of difficulty, where he needed some words of encouragement and comforting words, her wife came to him reacting in a different way, that why don't you curse your God? But he had this endurance with him. In the same way, the friends also came. We know that you have sinned against your God. That is why all these things are coming to you. At that moment where he needs to be comforted, that is where they are giving him some injections that he doesn't even need it, but will even hurt him the most. But he endured the spirit of endurance. Brethren, this is a great grace, and we are so fortunate because we have Christ in us. We have the Holy Spirit in us. The spirit of love is in us, and that love compel us to manifest that endurance. So having it in us, we have it as believers in us. What we need to do is that we need to activate it, so that there will be a manifestation of this grace called endurance in us. So people will be saying this. You will meet people in action. In your daily activities, people will even react in any way to you. But you will be able to stand it. You'll be able to live with any kind of person, any attitude. You can even handle difficult situations where everyone is angry, where everyone is reacting, where everyone is talking or complaining. You will know how to even handle that situation. Why? Because you have that grace to endure. This is a wonderful grace. It is so wonderful. It is so wonderful that God has given to his sons and daughters. If only you deserve for it, it is in you, because the Christ and Holy Spirit is in you. So that love is embedded in you. That grace to endure is in you. Difficult moments, financial difficulties, your family is on you because of birth. You need to get birth. You need to get married. So all sort of comments are coming to you. Just be still and endure. And endure. In conversations with people as friends, they normally say statements because we have different kinds of people with different kinds of temperament. We don't expect that actions should be the same. They differ. But when it comes, how are you going to receive them? You work in places, you work also in places where you have different groups of people with different attitudes, behavior, and some of their actions are something to you. They hate you. But if you have this grace, you would be able to endure all of this one and exchange it with love and humility, and you will be a blessing unto them as well, because they will get to learn something from it. I do remember one time there was one leader I was working with, and he made a statement to somebody that this lady, I don't know, if it were to be somebody else, that person would have been in a fight with me. But I've tried several times, but always this lady would not allow it, because there were some actions, there were some thoughts he had, some behavior he placed forward. But there was one thing that I learned from my father, and that was to endure. Now people will be talking and you're like, why would they say such things to you? Some are even younger, and look at such person, because they don't know you, look at the way they are reacting towards you in this way. And it will be like in our Ghanaian setting, we have ethnic groups, and we belong to the Akan group. So he will normally say that which means that you worry too much, don't worry. And he will normally use the story of the story of Martha. He normally uses Martha and Mary, where God told Martha that, Martha, you worry too much. We are carrying some worrying of which we need not to carry. So let's seek for the grace to endure every situation that we go through. But there is one thing, the grace of God is to endure. But there are certain things you need to speak out and not to endure. If you are facing abuse, that one, if you endure, it is fear that you are compelling, and not, I repeat it again, and not endurance. If you are being harassed in any way, if you are being obliged to do things which is against your faith, against what is your value and your principles, then this one you need not to endure, but you have to quickly come out from it. But something of which they mean harm to you, if you are able to endure all these things and stand firm to your ground, your Lord will come to your rescue and will give you a testimony, a story that will be a blessing unto the whole world. The whole world will get to know how you endured, and it will also strengthen them to endure. Now there is a grace for endurance. That grace is God in you. That grace is the Holy Spirit's power which strengthens us when we are not capable, when we don't deserve, when we are unable to do, for us to do certain things that we can do. It is difficult for us to do it, but because He is in us, it is so easy for us to do it. The grace of endurance, seek it, activate it, and you'll be a blessing. God bless you.